Hey guys, I am coming to you to share with you the books that my son and I have read. Either he read on his own or I read with him. He's in public school and he's in the first grade. So he doesn't read an extensive amount of books because he reads, of course, at school also. But he gets weekly books sent home every week from his class that he reads for homework, along with independent reading that I give him, and then books that we read at nap time. Not nap time, sorry, bedtime. So I just wanted to show you. It's not gonna be a big collection because of that reason. But I just wanted to show you what we got. So the first book that we read was the Tonka Chuck and Friends book. It's called Boomer's Flippin' Fire Rescue. This book actually came with a Tonka truck that he got it years ago. And it came with a book. And this is what it looks like, the different trucks. He got this one right here. And it's battery operated and it kind of slides and then goes that way. And this one was the Boomer's Flippin' Fire Rescue. Not sure if they still sell these and or if it comes with the book again. But here's the Handy's Hang Time Bridge, the Chuck Stunk part, and the Rowdy's Trash Crash. So this was really cool to get with his toy years ago. But we read it finally for the first time. I know it's crazy. This week. And the book it says, wherever there's a friend in need, Boomer's a friend indeed. Tag along with Chuck as he takes a spin through Boomer's fire safety training course and lands right in the middle of a race. Will his dreams of gold medal greatness go up in smoke? Can Boomer help Chuck in time? Buckle up because his awesome adventure's ready to roll. So this was a really good one. So we went ahead and read that one. And this is a book that I read to him at bedtime. The next one is the I Can Read. This one's the beginning one, Splat the Cat with a Bang and a Clang. And we read this one together at bedtime. And it's about Splat's friends are having a band rehearsal for their rock band, the Cat Gang. They want Splat to play with them too, but what will he play? So Splat went through a trial and error of things that he can play with. One of the options I think was a guitar. One was a cymbal. Maybe not the guitar, but one was a cymbal. One was a guitar. One was a horn. One was a bell, and it was just all too loud and didn't fit the band. He even tried to dance, and when he started to dance, he ran into things, so that didn't work. But as he was running into things, he ended up clinging on a paint can. So they thought that that was really cool. And he ended up being the person to play the paint can. And one of the things that his friends told him to do in order to figure out what he could play to get him included in the band was to what was the phrase? The phrase was use your head or something like that. Let me see if I can find the phrase because I thought it was pretty cool. Sorry guys, I just want to find it. Try using your head. And so at the end he ended up literally using his head because it ended up being that he bumped his head on, and that ended up being the perfect music. But I liked it because of the message that it was, use your head. And I asked my son, I always want to do like high order thinking and ask good questions, and I asked him, I said, Bryce, was they really talking about using his head physically to do the instrument? And he said no. And I said, well, what did it really mean? And he said to really think about what it is to really think about what he can play with to help the band. And I thought it was really cool that he understood that. So Splat the Cat is a really good a really good series, and they have tons, as you can see. Again, this is the Simple Sentences for Eager New Readers. Again, I said this in another video. The levels of reading, the reading level books vary, okay? You just have to really look at the vocabulary and the content to see if your child can actually read it. But that's what we read one night. Another night we read The Really Creepy Crawly Readers Monster Meat Eaters. It's create your own collection of bug. Well, it came with a bug here. It actually came with like a millipede or something. But it's a nonfiction read, and it's just about all the meat eaters, and I really liked it because it definitely gave good photos, as you can see. And then it tells you like what they eat at the bottom of every page. For an example, a assassin bug eats spiders, termites, bees, blood, ants, and I think that's cockroaches. So I thought that was really cool, and he really liked the pictures, and he really liked it. He's really into nonfiction. Like, he really gets it, and he likes it. The centipede was the like fake book that's right here. We got this I think either at a Scholastic Book Warehouse sale or a Scholastic Book Fair. Another book, this is a book that he actually read on his own, Biscuits New Tricks. He's in first grade, and this book is rather easy. But I just wanted him to read this aloud to himself to build fluency. So yes, I got him to read this book as one of his read to self books. His school, or my school, because I teach at the school that he goes to, we adopted sorry, my voice is going. We adopted the Daily 5, and the components of Daily 5 is read to self, read to someone, work on writing, read to self, read to someone, work on writing, work with the teacher, and I can't remember what the other one is, but the read to self is something that he's being introduced to this year, where he can read independently. And usually when he reads at home, I'm right beside him reading with him, and I'm kind of helping him with words that he doesn't understand and things in that nature. But this week I allowed him to go on his own and read this book so that he can start really figuring out, without help, really figuring out when to sound out, when to stretch words, when to figure out context clues on how to figure out what a word is. And I'll ask him after he's done what the book is about. And he did a really good job, but I had him read this book like once or twice just to make sure his fluency was great. And I did the same thing with Gus Gets Mad. I did the same book here. It says, Gus's day at the park is off to a bad start. His boat won't float. Gus is getting mad. So, every time I just have him, read to me what it is. And I did at the end, like after a couple of days, I do have him read it to me just to like almost assess his fluency. And he did a great job with this book. He uses expression. He uses when he knows he's mad, he uses angry voice. Like, I was so impressed. And those two books, like I said, were the books that he read independently this week. Another book that we read, which is not really a book, but he's a subscriber, I guess, to the Lego Club Junior. And it is free. So if you're interested in your child being members of the Lego Club, it is absolutely free. And quarterly, I believe, they get a little magazine. And it usually comes out with like some of the newest additions to the Lego collections or anything like that. But we read this entire book. They have some things like rhyming, and then they have different comics. Here's a little story about the eager astronaut. We did not do this one because this was bedtime. We didn't get to write in it, but they also have like Mad Libs, which I thought was really cool. But we did read this, and they're just like little comics everywhere. We read this. He actually did that little one by himself. Create your own ninja mask. They have little DIYs. tow truck rescue. It says a car has been broken down on a back road, but do not worry, the Lego tow truck will be there in no time. Finish the scene by coloring the car and the truck. You can use any color you want. So this is kind of like a coloring section. And this is the smaller or like the younger age range. I think there's actually an older one too. We did do this one, the Carrot Quest. I used to love these books when I was young, where you kind of fill in with the key here. You fill in the story with that. It helps with beginner readers for sure. But we did that one together. And then there's a page with cool creations of different kids and what they've made. And you can send it in also yourself and submit it. And then they also have a build type of thing with, you know, your own materials or own bricks like this. You can build your own things from bricks that you already have. So I thought that was really fun. And then lastly, they have a minifigures monster party. They actually have these selling right now at Lego store. It's the minifigures and it's the Halloween themed. So these are all the different ones. I think it's like 16 of them, maybe even more. And then they're showing, you know, different sets, helping Astronaut. You could possibly want a set. So yes, he loves these, and I thought that it'd be cool to incorporate in our nighttime reading. So he enjoyed that. And then lastly, this week was the first week that he could check out books in our media center at school. And I don't know about you, but my son always goes for a chapter book, even though he cannot read it independently. But his goal of this one, obviously, and he owns his own Diary of a Wimpy Kid books too, that we read it together. So this was the last book that we started reading together. It's Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. So we started reading this book. My goal for this is to possibly not read it all, but start it off. We're going to try to read a chapter a night and or read a picture book and then incorporate this afterwards. He's not yet ready to read this whole book, and because they're on a time schedule as far as checking out books, this probably would not be a book that he should possibly get every time. But we do have Diary of Wimpy Kids that we own, and like I said in the last video, I'm really trying to get him into building his stamina of not only reading independently but listening also, and chapter books is a great way to do that. And also being able to use his imagination and visualize what the story is about versus always having pictures. So yes, this was the last book that we read this week, or he read this week. And until next time, I will show you next week's reads. But until next time, I hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you enjoy these books, these book shows or reveals or whatever you want to consider it, as far as what he's read. I know I've been looking at some and it's been really helpful, especially if they're the same age range as my child, to see what type of books he could be interested in and things in that nature. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. Bye.